Well, here we are in game number 2 of the best 2 out of 3 final. The first game was won by Mike Yee and Nikki Frank on the right-hand side of your screen. And now we're playing for game number 2. Mike did a little slam there, and I believe it was caught in there because they were congratulating each other. I think, nope, Lucy is serving again. So that ball was shot out, which is a point for Lucy and Ron.
That's right.
Okay, and we're going back and forth as usual, just like before. Here's what we call dinking. Okay,
that's right.
Gently over the net until there's an opportunity for you to hit it home, so to speak, like that.
Just like Mike got
Lucy
a great
tried to get
slam
it
in
past
there.
Mike, but Mike, whoa, he's got quick reactions. Okay,
He does.
Yeah.
Those are very tricky.
Now that was a side out, so Nikki is serving now to Ron. So she goes cross court into that court, and Ron hits the net, so now it's a point for them, Nikki and Mike. So the score now is 1-1, and she's server number 1.
And back she goes.
Now we're back to the dink game, and she faults, and so her partner Mike gets to serve, and he's server number 2.
That's
so the score is 1-1 with server 2. You'll notice how quickly Ron gets to the net to try and trap them at the back, which he just succeeded in doing. So the server comes back here. The score is now 1-1, and Ron is server number 1. So you'll hear referees call out 1-1-1. Now they just made a point because Mike returned it too long. It's 2-1-1.
Wow. I know.
They congratulated
Yes,
each other.
so it
it's
looks
second
like
serve,
that
yeah.
was
That was
stayed
in bounds,
inside.
yeah. I think Lucy's going to serve here. Yes, she is. So the score is 2-1, and she's server 2. 2-1-2.
And a nice serve there.
Return. That's going way out.
Every once in a while we hit these home runs.
Right.
We
That's
kind of forget ourselves and think we're in a baseball game.
Yeah, it's
And,
3-1-2 right now.
So we definitely joke about the home run shots that we occasionally put in there. Again, a nice return.
returns, yes.
Very nice.
And another point for Lucy. Down the middle she went. Very vulnerable spot, believe it or not. Even though the players know each other, they still have to react. So it's 4-1-2.
And always communicate with your partner. That's one of the vital things that will make it a better chance that you will be able to return those ones that go right down the middle.
Another one down the middle.
Oh, that's just the shot you want to get in there.
That's right. She's got that distance perfect. Oh, pardon me. It must have been out because the serving just said. So it's 1-4. 1 for the Mike and Nikki. 4 for Lucy and Ron.
And Ron. Yeah, that's right.
And now it's a change of serve. Nikki will serve.
And she will be the number 2 server.
That's right. So the score is still 1 for them, 4 for Ron and Lucy, and their second server is Nikki. So.
Oh, nice shot.
See, Mike's got a quick release and can fool you. Now they're doing what they call dinking, gently over the net until there's an opportunity to slam it home.
And you'll notice all players are going to be trying to keep that ball low. You don't want to give those high shots that are great opportunity then for the opposition to slam right back to you. Oh, it looks like we're having a timeout called.
There we are. So this is allowed. 1 minute timeouts. You allowed 2 1-minute timeouts.
Per side.
It's very hot out there, so perhaps they need a drink or something like that, or it looks like somebody called the timeout. We're not sure which team, but they're taking their fluids to make sure that they're
hydrated.
Yeah, hydrated. Very important, especially in the heat in which this game was played. It was pushing the 30°C mark, which is
very
and it's in full
day.
sunshine too. So.
Exactly. Sometimes you'll notice that these courts are very dapply, particularly in the morning.
Yes.
And it makes it very difficult to gauge where the ball is accurately. But this is in full sun, so everybody has the same advantage or disadvantage with the sun. there's no worry about the shadows losing the ball there.
Does her serve, and score is 4-1, and she's first server. And now Ron gets to serve the ball because Lucy faulted there as her opposition kept slamming it back at her.
He did.
Relentless,
that's for sure.
Ron has a bit of a slice on his serve.
Yes.
He cuts it and makes it spin, which is perfectly legal.
And very challenging because you're looking.
Notice that Mike and Nikki have kept Ron and
an outside
Lucy
ball
at the
from
back
Nikki.
there.
And that's one of the great strategies of the game.
So it's 5-1 as far as I can see, unless we're missing something. Gentle. He lost his
nice
serve.
play by Nikki.
Ron does a lot of backhand. I don't know whether you noticed that. He also has a glove on his serving hand, his right hand, or his paddle hand. Again, that's perfectly legitimate. You're allowed to wear whatever equipment you want. It's the racket that they worry about, whether you put sandpaper on it or whatever. That's highly illegal. A referee can check your paddles at any time during the game if he thinks there's some cheating going on now.
Exactly.
These,
some
players,
paddles, I was just going to say, some of the paddles are even disqualified when they've been used extensively.
Absolutely.
They'll be getting little indents in the surface that are difficult to see, but they can make a difference in how the ball returns to you.
That's right.
So that is something to watch for.
Too, so it's
That's right.
1-5, I think.
Good serve. Nikki's right up at the net again.
Yeah.
And
if you are just learning pickleball, your tendency is to stay away from the net. That line that's 7 feet back is called the kitchen line. It's actually called a non-volley zone. In other words, you cannot hit it in the air if it's between the net and that line 7 feet back. You can't volley it. You can hit it, of course, as a ground stroke, but that's all. So it's a non-volley zone.
And if you are in that kitchen area, you can return it, but you have to make sure that it has the first bounce, and then you're free to hit it.
That's a point for Lucy.
And Ron.
And I think it's 6-1. I haven't seen too many scoring plays from Mike and
Nikki
yet. But Lucy and Ron seem to be slowly getting it. It's game number 2. They lost the first game to Mike and Nikki. So who knows? They might be taking this game.
And it's certainly
right now,
an
they
evenly
like
matched.
This game. Look at how they're hitting them and keeping them at the back of the net. It's a great play by Mike to do that. Well, he and his partner Nikki moved to the net. So now Mike gets to serve. So as far as I know, it's 1-6 and server 1. Boom.
Nice.
She hits hard. Mike is equal to hitting it back. Ron's hitting a little backspin there.
Very nice.
Backspin. If you might have noticed, he cut right underneath that ball there. That makes it really difficult to return. So Nikki gets to serve. She's server number 2, 1-6 right now.
And a very, very interesting game.
Yeah.
Just great to watch.
They're keeping their opposition at the back. Both of them are right up at that net. Now they got a chance to run up. Ron's going to go get it. Yes, he does.
Good play.
Slam back from
Mike. A tough shot.
Happens to hit Lucy as she's going across there. If the ball hits your body, like say your arm, your leg, your chest, etc., it's a dead ball.
Even if it ticks off your racket, just the tiniest bit.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Any contact at all, and it's the end for that.
Right.
So people are always aware if they hear that little tick. Oh, even though it went out, I heard it tick your racket,
right.
And so I know that I'm going to be able to keep serving.
Now, I believe that Nikki and Mike picked up a point on that particular series of plays there. And Lucy just lost her serve to Ron, so they're serving there. As far as I know, it's 6-2.
And Ron is just getting that confirmation.
That's right. The referee has to call the score first before you can serve. So there's no doubt as to the fact. The referee is checking to make sure everybody's ready so that there's no question as to who is ready, or I wasn't ready, etc.,
Right.
etc. You can't say that. The referee is the one who calls. And if you serve before he calls, that's a fault.
That's right.
And
So
he
you're
can- he
waiting
can-
for that indication just to be sure. It's also giving you an opportunity if you have heard the referee giving the score and you disagree, that's your opportunity right then to correct that or be assured that no, that is the score and everything is as the referee is stating to you.
Now Mike is serving. I think they've scored. I'm not sure here, but we'll get confirmation of this later. It is the second game, and Ron and Lucy lost the first game, very close, but they lost it to Mike and Nikki, and so this is the best of three. So in order to stay competitive here, they have to win this game. If they don't, then it's all over, and Mike and Nikki have won. But we'll just have to wait to see the ending of this game.
Exactly.
Before we know what has happened.
One of the interesting things in pickleball too is some of the matches you'll notice will go to 11, some go to 15, and we even have matches where, and this is in our casual day play, where we only go to 7 because there are people waiting on the sideline. So before you start the game, you predetermine what the final score will go to, and you just play it out to that particular point. Sometimes you'll say that yes, we have to have a 2-score lead, so it has to be 13 to 15, not 14 to 15. And other times you say first player to 15 is a winner. So it's all predetermined according to the player's wishes.
And when we're playing tournament play like this, we follow the IFP, International Federation of Pickleball. We follow their official rules, or the USAPA, United States of America Pickleball Association, or the Canadian Pickleball Association, or CPO, pardon me, Canadian Pickleball Organization. They all follow the same rule book, okay, for tournament play, okay. Club play is different, as you know, as you stated, we have different rules. In this particular tournament, depending on how many entries we had to any given category, we either played a single game to 15, win by 2, or we had the best. In the finals, though, we always have the best 2 out of 3. That gives you a much better sense of how good the players are.
It certainly does. And it gives you an opportunity, for instance, if you're only having 1 game to 15 and you start to fall behind, you may not be able to recover. Whereas if you know I've got another game and they're all to 11, you have a really good chance of maybe recapping and getting regrouped and coming back to win 1 game each as it's a...
Looks like this might happen here. It's hard to know.
Exactly.
That's unfortunate we didn't have any ball retrievers because Nikki was forced to run to get another ball. And we had a whole bunch over here. The referee should have just said, leave it alone and I'll go get, here's another one, etc. Because
you can get very exhausted as the tournament play goes on.
Especially with this heat.
That's right. And many, many shots are exchanged in these games. You can see by the length of the matches, certainly a lot shorter than, or a lot longer, sorry.
Well, if you've got the best, your score that has to win by 2 and you're at 11, the score can be 11 to 9 and you would win the game, but that's 20 points and each point can take upwards of 2 to 3 minutes. So you just calculate that out, how long your match is going to be. On the other hand, as I mentioned, some games go to 15, and in this particular tournament we had several entrants, so in a round-robin play we said 1 game only to 15. Otherwise, if we had the best 2 out of 3 for all matches, we would probably be playing under the lights every single game.
Exactly.
Every single day.
Which is not
so
desirable.
It moves it along. So as an example, with a pool of, say, 6 teams competing, you're guaranteed 5 games if you use the round-robin technique. If you're doing the best 2 out of 3, you're usually doing it on a basis that you're only guaranteed 2 games, and then you're done.
If you lose both games.
2 matches, pardon me, and then
that's right.
So we like to give people their money's worth. So we let them play 1 game to 15, and that way they get 4, 5, 6 games, depending on how many are in their pool.
And especially if you've traveled from out of town,
Absolutely.
you want to make sure that you're getting your chances to play,
Yep.
because that's why you're here. You want to see how you measure up to other players in the province or out of the province, as in this case. So it's a really, really good experience.
Yep. I think Mike and Nikki have made a real game of this, although the last couple of shots have been going astray. We might see Ron and Lucy take this game, we're not sure. But if they're getting close, there's an opportunity for them to, that is Mike and Nikki, if they want to regroup, if they're getting close, they can call a timeout and discuss some possible winning strategies, etc.
That is so valuable in the game.
That worked very well.
Sometimes even just to alter the pace of the game. If you find that, oh, we've lost these last 2, 3 points, you may just want to say to your partner, hey, have we been talking to each other? What are we missing?
Yeah.
And so let's get back on our game, remembering to get to the net quickly, different things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And well, there's a timeout call. So that's the interesting part of this. We'll just see. Mike and Nikki call the timeout. They're the ones on the right-hand side of your screen there. They're awfully close to catching up, and they want to make sure they do. So they're going to take a little bit of a breather.
Back in progress.
And
timeout is over.
Right, and now Lucy and Ron are serving at their side there. We'll see if their timeout worked to their advantage. Mike and Nikki call the timeout. There's a little drop shot.
Oh, very nice.
Nice little dinking game going on here between the two gals. Back and forth until somebody makes a mistake or have an opportunity to slam it home.
Always watching for that higher lifted shot that you can slam back.
Both partners are to each other's partner. There it is.
There we go.
They won the game. Yeah, Lucy and Ron won that game. So now we're tied 1-1. This is going to be a fabulous finish to this particular thing. We don't know at this particular point, of course, who the winners will be. But we can tell you one thing. They are so evenly matched that it could be anybody's game. This is the gold medal match of the Group C of the Medicine Hat Pickleball Association's, Pickleball Club's annual Showdown in the Hat tournament, coming to you from the Strathcona courts, just east of the Strathcona pool. So if you ever want to know what's going on, come on down.